The beautiful hills surrounding Adelaide, South Australia, are home for many tourist attractions, pretty country towns, wineries and wildlife. Near Mount Barker, the state government's new 30-year plan would see 20,000 additional people on the land we're looking at now over the next 15 years, creating a sea of suburbia. The first stage of development is desecration, like this. With not enough water for even the current population, hardly any infrastructure on promise, many people think that building on prime agricultural land is utter madness. So, we talked with a government minister.
Beautiful hills around Mount Barker, South Australia, talking about the 30-year plan. We tried to get hold of the Minister for Planning, but he wasn't available. However, we do have another minister willing to help out. Good evening, Minister.
Good evening, Brian. Lovely to be here.
Now, Minister, the plan is called Planning the Adelaide We All Want. Who's we all?
Well, it's the government, of course, Brian. It's the Adelaide we, the government, want. I'd have thought that was obvious from the title, Brian.
I believe, Minister, that Mount Barker is going to have a large amount of urban development as part of your 30-year plan.
Is it? Well, I suppose it is. Everywhere else is.
Why is this?
Well, you know, Brian, we have to grow. We are growing. We can't stop growing. It's in the blood. 30 years, we'll have another 560,000 people that we've got to fit into the state. We've got to put them somewhere.
But where are all these people supposed to be coming from? Are we meant to be having bigger families?
No, Brian, that's the problem. We're not having enough kids. That's why we're over in London, we're in South Africa, we're in Mumbai and other places, offering a place in the Adelaide Hills to get people over here so that we can meet this 560,000 target. If we don't, when we all grow old, there'll be no one to pay the taxes.
Oh, I see. Well, I think I see. But isn't that going to perpetuate itself in that when all the extra people get old, we'll have to ship more in?
Exactly, Brian. Now you're getting it. More and more, always growing and always needing more of the Adelaide Hills for them.
More and more. But why so many in Mount Barker?
Well, Mount Barker's a bit buggered anyway, Brian, so we thought we might as well complete the job. And there's still a lot of open space in Mount Barker to fill with houses, so that's the strategic thinking.
But isn't it a concern, Minister? Isn't it true that areas you've got nominated for suburbs around Mount Barker have some of the best agricultural land?
Absolutely, Brian. You've hit the nail on the head. Where else would we build but on the best soils? People wouldn't be thanking us if we put them on crappy land now, would they?
Yes, but I've heard people say that it's not the best land to build on.
Of course it's the best land, Brian. We've got maps showing this top quality soil with lots of rainfall. Where else would you build? Such good land, Brian, some of the developers are even exporting it. They're digging it up and shipping it out in trucks. Silly question, really, Brian.
So you're not worried about losing this wonderful soil, this top quality agricultural land?
Look, we're getting everything else from China. Why not the veggies we need? They do very good deals over there, Brian. They'll even weigh them and put them in plastic bags for us.
So how have you gone about choosing which areas of land?
Well, using the developers, of course. They're the experts. They've got all the local knowledge. Crikey, they own most of the land anyway.
Would these be the same companies that have contributed nearly $2 million to the Labor Party in recent years?
Oh, I suspect you're trying to imply something there, Brian. Just a minute, I'll just check my notes on that. This one says, do not comment under any circumstances, so I'm afraid we'll have to leave it there, Brian.
Water. People are worried about lack of water.
So they should be, Brian. There isn't any. But we've fixed that. We've already issued bottled water to lots of people, and all the newcomers from overseas will bring in at least 100 litres with them. That'll be the deal.
Bottled water. People are concerned about the loss of wildlife through all this development.
Oh, no, there shouldn't be, Brian. We'll have koalas swinging from all the clotheslines. The kids will love it.
So I can picture that. Hardly any of the infrastructure listed on page 122 is for Mount Barker.
Oh, hold your horses, Brian. As we speak, there's a concrete truck coming up to build a couple of roundabouts, and there's another truck next week, so it's off and running, Brian.
But what about the extra schools, water treatment plant, and this freeway exchange that people are talking about?
All under control, Brian. There's an election next year. Just watch this space for promises on all of this. So that might go down okay. What do you think?
Have you had the Planning Association involved in any of this plan?
No, Brian, no one like that. They only make things difficult. They want us to justify everything.
I should have asked earlier, Minister. Who actually did this 30-year plan for you?
Oh, well, that was easy, Brian. We got half a dozen kids from the local kindergarten, gave them $1.4 million, some new coloured pencils, and got them to do it as a project. I reckon they did a pretty good job. What do you reckon?
I thought you had a property in the hills somewhere around here, Minister.
Oh, well, that was, yes, no, I did used to have that, but it was actually in the development area, and so I sold it last week, actually. A developer offered me $8 million for it. Pretty too good to refuse, really, Brian.
So where do you live?
Well, outside the area, actually. I've actually bought a nice penthouse on the Gold Coast recently.
So you've got nothing in the Adelaide Hills now?
Oh, no, Brian. Too many people now in the Adelaide Hills, and the green hills are rapidly disappearing. It's quite disappointing, really.
Well, we'll have to leave it at that, Minister. Thank you. The 30-year plan certainly has stirred up a lot of feeling.
Has it? Well, I wouldn't know, because we deliberately haven't been doing a lot of community consultation, Brian, but it is good news that people are excited. I think we're getting somewhere.
Thank you, Minister.
Oh, thank you, Brian. It's been a pleasure.